Okay, sorry about that. Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon po, sir.
Good afternoon po.
Like, background yung speaker. Wait lang, test ko lang yung sound. Check. Check. Check ko lang. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, okay naman. Okay, before we start our discussion, let's have an activity first, okay? Icebreaker activity. And the winner of the icebreaker activity is will be accepted on our next grade deduct. Okay? Okay na ba, class? Mag-icebreaker muna tayo before ano po ba yung mga kinain nyo ng lunch? Pero mukhang hindi. Kasi, well, see na lang. Okay, simple mechanics, paramihan ng score, ang may pinakamaraming score is of course the winner. And paunahan lang ng chat, okay? So yung unang makakuha ng sagot sa chat box is the winner. And wrong spelling wrong, of course. Okay, so the title of the game is Wika Rambulan. It's a very simple icebreaker activity. Hulaan nyo lang kung it's an English word, jumbled English word, and you will answer the equivalent word corresponding to that particular English words. So jumbled words, for example, this one, example lang to. So the category is food. So pasensya na kayo. Alam ko, kakakain nyo lang. Food again. So ano sa tingin nyo kung anong klaseng food to? Type nyo lang class sa chat box. Wala na ako gets. Yon. So John Mark, got it. So yon, that's just an example. Okay? So ano na to? Actual game na to. And so yes, correct. Sinigang na bangus. Next is, ito, the first item. Yon. Si Pinela. First score. Pinela. Yes, it's big scallops. Next. Okay, wrong spelling wrong, ah. Okay, so the correct spelling is Puto Bumbong. So Alexis got it first. 1 point. Next. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Na-double click ko yung next. Dali lang yan. Okay. Alexis again. Next. So that's the answer. So si Alexis ang pinakagising sa inyong lahat. How about this one? John Mark. Inihaw na baka. Okay, the first one who got it is Maria Carla Gabriela. Maria Carla. Okay. 1 point. Marami salad. Next. Okay, I think Alexis got it again. Next. Favorite game mo ba to, Alexis? 5 points ka. Next. Next, grilled steak. So, Gabriela got it. Walang nakaka-gets. That's correct. Chicken bacon. Ay, gets nyo na. Hindi nyo lang i-combine. I-combine nyo lang yung mga sagot nyo. Binako lang kasi sinagot mo, Erika. So, chicken binakol. Alam niyo ba yung class? Yung pagkain na yan. So, si Papa ako nakakuha. Next. Chicken. No, no. Soup and dumplings. Malapit na. Malapit na, Erika. Yun! Wala na. Next. So, Alexis got it. Nai-imagine ko yung mga Pilipinas. Siguro nagkakanda total yung mga kaka-pronounce nila. Correct, Angelica. So, sardinas. Next. Bandali. The first one who got it correctly. Si Gabriela again. How about this one? Okay, ang unang nakasagot ay si Alexis again. Next. Si Jubilee. Okay. Dali na dito. So Alexis got it. Nagpit po ang laban ni Gabriela at ni Alexis. Ilan ba yun? Yun. Denise today. Denise. Chocolate cake. Five points for Gabriela. Okay, si Nogales. Points. Sabihin lang kasi may dispute kayo sa mga points. Points for Nogales. Okay, so Alexis again. 9 points for Alexis. Um, Yon. Si Gabriela. Jubilee. Ira Kate. Ira. 1 point. Tama ba? Alexis again. Ay, sorry, wrong spelling ka pala. Tama. Wrong spelling. So walang nakuha ng points na to. Wala. 9 points ka pa rin, Alexis. This one. Ira. This one. Yun. Erlinda. Ten points for Alexis. Ginawa nito. Mahabot si Ira. 3 points for Ira. Jubilee. 3 points. Malapit na to. Malapit na matapos. Okay, Alexis. Hindi ka naliligaw ng course, Alexis. Service management ka talaga. Yan, mahirap yan. Oh, galing nga. Kahit mahirap. Ako na nga nahirapan din. Club sandwich, correct, Denise? Nogales. Yan, yan yung pinakamahirap. Si Red. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Yun. Yun, correct spelling. Si Charles. Likod, likod. Okay, that's all. So, ang winner ng game na to ay none other than Alexis with 13 points. And next na highest score is si Gabriela, 6 points. Congrats, Alexis. Nahulaan mo almost half ng lahat ng pinapahula. Okay, now let's proceed the discussion. Okay, so we'll talk about the paradigm shift in higher education. Or when we say paradigm class, it means that paradigm, the norms, the way we used to do things. Okay, and shift is of course change in how we do things in higher education. Okay, so that's will be our topic for today's session. So Education 4.0, how technology disrupts other industries, predict that the traditional educational setup will become obsolete in the near future. So it says here that if you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got by Einstein. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing is and expecting a different result. Okay, so that's the definition of insanity. Kung if you keep on doing something and you're expecting different result, of course, it will not provide different results because you know doing the things that you are always doing. So it should the result of that is of course the same thing as what is always been. Okay. So here, class, are you familiar with this hologram activity here? Have you seen this before? Can you give me a thumbs up kung nakita niyo na somewhere the hologram activity? Okay, so just by using very simple things such as the CD case. So basically, class, just imagine one generation away, your parents, let's say your parents, class, tanongin niyo yung nanay tatay, Mapa, what if kapag yung teacher niyo dati, sinabi na gagawa kayo ng hologram sa loob ng class, ano yung magiging reaction? Of course, tendency is hindi sila maniniwala. So, hologram is like nag-exist lang sa science fiction movies, di ba? Pero, once we the availability of technology right now, we can do simple things such as hologram without spending anything. Kung meron kang spare CD case sa bahay nyo, scotch tape, then of course lahat naman ng estudyante, 90% ng mga estudyante ay merong smartphone. So kung meron silang ganyan, then we can be able to do a hologram without spending anything. Okay, so that's the difference between the past just one generation ago to current generation. Okay. Now, just imagine, class, what will be the activity inside the classroom once kayo naman yung naging teacher. So maybe sa mga magiging anak nyo, ano kaya yung magiging activity nila sa loob ng classroom? Kung ngayong mga activity na to, ito na yung pwede natin gawin sa loob ng classroom, di ba? So just imagine what will be their activities inside their classroom in the next 10 to 15 years. That's what we will be talking here. Okay, so roughly more than 50 years ago, we are able to reach the moon. Okay, so nakaapak tayo sa moon. We reached the moon. Now, yung mga group of people, guys, na ini-imagine na one day we will be able to reach the moon, they tag as a lunatic. Kaya nga nanggaling sa salitang luna. Luna is moon. And lunatic is of course the synonym of that is like somehow crazy person. Okay? Parang nababaliw. Kasi lunatic. They are terms parang loosely translated sa mga tao na naniniwala na we can be able to reach the moon. But what happened? 50 years ago, we were able to do that. So, sino ngayon yung lunatic? Okay, so basically, yung mga nagsabi ng lunatic, sila talaga yung, they were vindicated. Okay, they're able to realize that they are correct. So, probably, in this current generation that we have, those people who are proposing something, so let's say, within the next 10 to 15 years, ito na yung magiging itsura ng classroom natin. Pero, sabihin natin na it's impossible. Parang you are lunatic for saying that 10 to 15 years from now, you will be able to have a very different classroom setup. So, hindi na. Ibang-iba na yung magiging classroom setup natin. Something like that. But who knows? It might happen. Okay? So 10 years ago, this is how we buy things, right? Punta tayo sa mall, shopping, okay, purchase it, then that's it. We'll go home. This is how we buy things. But recently, from going to the mall, napalitan siya suddenly na pagpunta sa natin sa Shopee, sa Lazada, sa Zalora, sa Amazon. So ito na yung, this is how we buy things already. So in a very short span of time, from this to this, okay? Now it says here that consumers are now doing most of their shopping online kasi it's more convenient to be delivered to your house, especially nung nagkaroon pa ng pandemic, kaya na-magnify pa to, parang naging times 10 pa yung impact. Yung mga retail store, lugi na nga sila before pandemic, nagka-pandemic pa, di lalong naging bankrupt sila. Okay? So mga retailers such as Macy's, Forever 21, Toys R Us, kasi hindi sila class nakasabay sa they weren't able to anticipate. Okay? Kaya nga doon sa quote na shinare ko kanina, if you keep on doing what you always do, you'll always get what you always got. Okay? So sila, hindi nila anticipate na by madi-disrupt yung business nila when it comes to if they weren't able to migrate their business online. So that's the disruption that happens. That's why people are, majority of the retailer have their online counterpart. Okay, not just physical store but virtual store online. Kasi kapag hindi nila ginawa yun, of course, the result will be against them. Hindi sila makakasabay, mapabacktrack sila. Now, recently class, this is before pandemic, this is how we do class, di ba? So, punta tayo sa loob ng classroom, teacher na sa harapan, discuss. Then, suddenly, before pandemic, hindi natin na-realize na siguro kapag may isang tao na nagsabi before pandemic na magiging obsolete na tong ganitong classroom setup, from this to this, sabihin mo rin na lunatic yung tao na yun, di ba? Or paano naman magiging from this classroom setup magiging ganito? So that's like, it's impossible. Pero, sobrang napabilis niya. So we know that it will happen soon, na from this to this, but we didn't expect na it will happen that fast in 2018. Kasi I don't think plus that it will really go back to 100% this kind of setup. Okay? Ano na yon? Parang yung pandemic yung catalyst na event na from this to this. Kung babalik man dito, probably magiging hybrid na lang. Okay? Hybrid classroom setup. So 50% sa loob ng classroom, 50% online. So what are those possible technologies class that we need to expect, okay, moving forward? Probably hindi nyo pa ito magagamit now as you are being a student, but you will be able to encounter this you being a teacher. So one of those technologies that we will encounter soon, one of those are the digital badges. Okay, I think you are familiar with the idea of the digital badges already. So it says that it will be, let's say, most of your tangible diplomas, you know, something that you can hold. Let's say your certificates, your medals, your diplomas, it will be replaced by digital badges soon. So let's say gumraduate ka ng cum laude college. So there will be a corresponding digital badge for that you can display to your social media account, your LinkedIn account, for your future employer to see. So let's say you have a digital badge, let's say best in math badge, or probably since elementary to high school, meron kang top 1 badge, top 1 of your class badge. So it has a corresponding badge that can be displayed to your profile. But of course, if we implement this type of technology, the digital badges, there will be another department. Okay, so let's say sa CHED, sa DepEd, merong itatayong new office. Okay, so let's say digital badge managing committee, something like that, or office. So they are a group of IT people, okay, that will manage, make sure that it will not counterfeited, to cross-reference all the badges that they are releasing, to verify if this badge that is displayed to your profile or LinkedIn account is legitimate, and will provide security features that it will not be, of course, will not be hacked by anyone, but it will be displayed exclusively for you. Okay? So kapag i-implement natin to, may department talaga na mag-emerge out of that, okay, to manage it. So familiar naman kayo sa idea ng mga badges, di ba? Digital badges. Kayo sa Facebook pa nga lang, di ba, class? You have an option to display your top fan badge. So the idea is the same. So you have a top fan badge that can be displayed anywhere, especially when you interact with that particular page. So that is your digital badge. So the idea is the same. Okay, but those digital badges ngayon nga, pwede nyo siya for your employer to see. Let's say kapag mag-apply ka as a teacher, okay, so yung department head nyo, siya yung in charge sa sa hiring processes. So check na lang yung profile nyo online. So makikita niyo yung mga display. Probably top 3 ka nung grade 4 ka. So from elementary to up until college, makikita lahat ng list of badges mo. Okay? So magiging ganun na. May implement mo, class. It will happen in your lifetime. Hindi man ngayon you as a student, but 100% it will happen you being a teacher someday. Okay, so I'll share a video first before proceed to the next one. Ano nyo lang, class, sasabihin nyo lang sa akin kung mag-unmute lang kayo kung may issue sa video, kung mayroong putol-putol yung audio or walang audio or anything like that. So I'll play this first.
Learning today happens anywhere and everywhere. It happens in a variety of environments, different social contexts, and in a multitude of media. We can no longer think of learning in one way. Our education system faces great challenges in engaging students, keeping pace with technological change, teaching 21st century skills, and creating meaningful assessments of our learning. How do we recognize and value the way we learn today? What if we used badges? What is a badge? A badge is an online representation of a skill or achievement you've earned. They've been used in gaming and online spaces to motivate behavior, recognize achievement, and establish credibility. What if we used badges for learning? Badges could be created and issued by anyone: schools, online spaces, cultural and civic institutions, community and professional organizations, to represent a limitless set of skills, achievements, and knowledge. Badges could be earned by anyone completing programs or projects or demonstrating specific knowledge, skills, and abilities. Badges could be shared on websites or blogs, social media profiles, online portfolios, and resumes, leading to real opportunities like connecting with potential collaborators, earning school credit, or getting a job. Mozilla's Open Badges infrastructure provides the software and open technical standard for everyone to earn, issue, and display badges across various contexts, ensuring that everyone gets recognition for the learning that happens anywhere and shares it in the places that matter. So what do badges mean for learning? Badges let us see that learning goes beyond classrooms. Skills like creativity and collaboration and passionate interests become as important as subjects like math and science. Badges show our learning as more than a collection of test scores and grades, but as learning pathways rich with detail and information. This allows learners to guide their own learning, teachers to better engage students, and employers to find the unique talents and skill sets they need. Badges cultivate social and connected learning where learning happens through sharing. They let learning be recognized and transferred across different spaces and learning environments. Badges make learning more adaptable to change and open to innovation. And most importantly, badges make learning a lifelong pursuit. By letting us recognize the learning that happens anywhere and share it in the places that matter, badges cultivate values of openness, sharing, and innovation in learning today.
Okay, were you able to watch the video without any issue? Press, give a thumbs up. Alright, good. I'll share here another actual application of digital badge to integration of a digital badge into one application that I'm using. So I'm using this application here. It's called Audible. So this is sponsored by Audible. No, I'm just kidding. But this is the Audible app that I'm using here. And the idea of using badges are very much integrated. So just like this, you are seeing the video right class. So yung mga available badges sa Audible, gumamit ka ng Audible are, for example, ito yung mga badges na na-earn ko. So Weekend Warrior, I'm able to listen to at least 5 hours during weekends, okay, of audiobook. Familiar naman kayo sa Audible, di ba? It's an audiobook platform that you can listen, of course, audiobook, right? Have you heard of Audible before? All right, good. So there, that's one of the badges that I earned is the Weekend Warrior. I'm able to listen a total of 5 hours on a weekend. So ito pa yung mga available. Yon, Night Owl. So yung Night Owl na yon, Night Owl badge is for take a power nap and you'll be fine. Listen to a book for at least 4 hours at night. Yeah. Natalik ka ng 4 na oras sa gabi. Yung marathoner badge naman is for 2 hours straight non-stop of listening to an audiobook. So ma-unlock mo siya yung mga available badges. High noon, kapag nakinig ka ng 1 oras during lunchtime. So I also earned that badge. Those are the different types of badges: the stack, 7-day stretch, the nibbler, yung mga hindi pa na-unlock na badges. So I'm showing it to you just for you to have an overview of the practical application of those different badges. So I'm sure meron kayong inaalagaan or something that digital badges, kahit sa loob ng interactive media such as video games, na exclusive sa'yo na digital badges. So next are, do you have any question, class, before we proceed? Yan. Unmute na kayo mas kung meron kayo tanong. Yan, digital badges. Okay, so this is an example of another technology that we might be able to see a lot of it within the next few years is what do you think, class? What do you think is the device that we use to take this picture? Any idea? So it's called UAB. What does UAB stands for? Alam niyo po, class? UAB. You can chat in or unmute if you know the answer. UAB stands for unmanned aerial vehicle. Okay, have you heard of that? Or most commonly known as? Yes, correct. So drone. So unmanned aerial vehicle or drone is one of the things that you will encounter the most, especially kayo class, magiging ano kayo. Basically, di ba yung course nyo is secondary education major in PLE. Yun talaga yung course nyo. Mapupunta kayo sa PLE department. And yung mga ituturo nyo doon, magugulat kayo. Kasi nung nag-practice teaching ako, yung pang umaga is electronics and pang hapon is drafting. So imagine how different that is. So possible na, mga co-teacher na makikita nyo na, of course, they are teaching students how to use a unmanned aerial vehicle or drone. So there are a lot of practical application of drones in the context of education, such as the campus tour, especially sa field ng STEM, okay, and engineering, also inspection of buildings, courses of drones, capture sporting events using drones, and etc. So there are a lot of practical usage of drones. So here I have here an example of using a later. Yun muna for the meantime. I think I'll have to look for the video of the practical usage of drones or unmanned aerial vehicle in the field of education. So next technology that we need to be familiar is the augmented reality or virtual VR or AR, augmented reality and virtual reality. So immersive and augmented reality students enter a virtual space. So basically class, the next big thing in education is the AR or augmented reality. So I have here some video to show you some practical usage of AR or augmented reality. Again class, very essence or very meaning na AR is augmented reality. Augment meaning to improve. Okay, improve reality by simply merging the digital space to physical space. Yung space na nakikita mo ngayon is immerge mo sa digital space. So of course, there will be an augmentation. Okay, the most famous probably application of augmented reality is the mobile game Pokemon Go. Okay, so the Pokemon that you're seeing in the real world, in the physical space, and the digital space is the Pokemon that you see on your devices. So yun yung application for entertainment purposes. But for education purposes, there is a lot of practical application for that also. So here is one example. So kayo class, what is your goal in life? Then sabihin nyo, my goal in life is to augment the quality of life of my family. Ang lahat. Or to improve, augment. Here's another clip. The girl. Here. One more. One moment. There's another for chemistry also. So here, class, the idea of AR is to simply actually nag-exist na yung technology na to. Kaya ginagamit na sa field ng mga, of course, ng mga taong can afford that kind of technology, such as in the field of medicine. Kasi mga, nag-aaral ng doctor, ng medicine, is they can afford this type of technology. So let's say they are, let's say 5 students. Now, instead of dissecting a cadaver, real corpse, then they'll just simply use the smart glasses to dissect to study the human anatomy in front of them. Okay, and it is it will also revolutionize other field once it becomes mass produced or readily available for everyone. Kasi ngayon, ang average price pa ng smart glasses is like nasa $1,000 or 50,000 pesos. But it's only a matter of time na maging affordable siya. So maging $100 na lang yung mga smart glasses na yan. Then everyone inside the classroom can of course afford it, including the teacher and all the students. So let's say your subject is automotive, okay? You can be able to dissect an entire vehicle in front of you inside the classroom just by using a smart glasses. Kasi hindi ito kathang isip na it's like science fiction nga, di ba, yung impact. Pero it will really happen. in your lifetime. Magugulat na lang kayo. Magkakaroon kayo ng meeting. Okay, may meeting kayo ng principal. Okay, for this instant, our school will be the pilot school of implementing augmented reality. Okay. Here's the smart classes to be distributed to all the students, including you. And of course, magkakaroon kayo ng training on how to use that. And that will, of course, revolutionize the whole education landscape. Kaya nga, augmented reality is really the future class of education. So at least meron na kayong glimpse of how it will be, how different the classroom will be once you become the teacher, okay, in the field of sa education. So here's another last video for the AR. Yung last 3 minutes lang ng video yung papakita ko sa inyo para lang yung gist ng entire video na yun. Medyo lakasan niyo yung audio class kasi mahina yung audio ng video na to, pero ma-explain naman sa inyo para napanood. Just a second. Para magkaroon kayo ng glimpse yung sa workplace of using smart glasses.
I pulled up a browser window and I look at it, and now I touch it and I see a high-rendered 3D model of the International Space Station in front of my face. Instead of the picture that only gives me one angle, I have multiple angles now. I can actually look at it and see how it works and how everything works together. And then I can look at it from a different angle and truly understand how this is floating above us in space. Because I want to obviously get an A on my paper, I need to know a little more about how this device works or how this building works. So with a flip of my finger, I can explode it and look at all the detail. And if I want to see a little bit what's happening here, I can zoom in and take a look and see how this all is working together. But I don't know what some of these parts are, to be honest. So there's some information embedded in this 3D model. So again, with a flick of my finger, I can pull it up and I look at it and I understand how this all works together. So I guess this is the Columbus module. Well, this is an example of what you can do with any 3D model in the world. And the worldwide database of 3D models is only growing by the hour. So this was just a quick example what you can build with a toolkit that is available from us for the worldwide community of developers. This toolkit will let you build truly immersive augmented reality experiences, applications that actually work best with your brain. Augmented reality is currently in the developer phase. Some of the smartest people in the world are creating apps and applications that will dramatically change the way how we interface with data. But soon, this technology will be available for all of us through smart glasses or even contact lenses. I really believe that soon, augmented reality devices will surpass the current 2.6 billion smartphone users in the world. Through augmented reality and neuroscience, we can create amazing things. We will improve education, and productivity. And we will unlock amazing untapped potential within the next few years. Similar to how emerging economies skipped the landline and went straight to the cellular phone system, I wonder, why don't we skip the tablets and the screens in the classroom and go straight from the chalkboard to the three-dimensional space? Imagine a surgeon explaining an upcoming brain surgery with a 3D brain scan to her patient. Imagine a professor teaching the human genome with a DNA string floating in front of his students. Imagine students walking through a museum or through nature, exploring the concepts with information in augmented reality. The applications are truly endless. This is the future we're going to live in. It is up to us, the thinkers, the artists, the scientists, and the educational experts, to create something meaningful, something that will let us build a more connected and a better world. Thank you very much.
So that is the pitch for the. So available naman class yung technology na yan for us to use. Pero yun nga, di ba, sa smartphone are capable of displaying augmented reality. The problem is that kailangan, it's hassle to use. Kasi di ba, kailangan pa natin i-touch yung smartphone, then makikita natin yung nangyayari sa loob lang ng smartphone. Kaya necessary talaga yung smart glasses for us to conveniently and practical, para ma-realize natin yung practical application ng augmented reality in the context of education. So next. So do you have any question, class, before I proceed to the next slide? After, we also have the so this is the same thing, class. Sa virtual reality and augmented reality are closely related. Virtual reality kasi 100% sa virtual world. Okay? Walang integration ng physical space, but in AR there is a merge between physical and digital space. So that this is where the smart glasses or Google glasses and wearables will comes in. So lectures in person and live stream, interactive remote field trips, self-guided campus tours, so etc. So those are this is an example class of smart glasses. So Google is the one of the companies that are in the forefront of this type of exploration. Okay, so pwede ka na makabili ng smart glasses ng Google. Though for by invitation na yung pwedeng bumili. So invite ka nila if eligible ka to purchase their smart glasses. So yeah, it costs around more than $1,000. So medyo pricey pa siya ngayon. Here is the probably this is the full realization of what might a future classroom might be. So concept pa lang to, but I'm sure that it's only a matter of time before this will become available for everyone. Or if not everyone, a majority of the students will be able to experience this type of classroom. The next technology that we will be talking about that will be apparent or will be mainstream soon eh, is the 3D printing or the 3D printers. So again, especially in the field of field natin na PLE, where it covers a lot of areas. So 3D printing will be one of the mainstays device. So magiging as common na to ng mga printer, the normal printer that we have, magiging as common na to ng mga normal printer na yun. Okay? Once maging teacher na kayo. Kasi mura na rin siya ngayon. Kapresyo na lang siya halos ng the traditional, laser ink printer, paper printer. Before kasi guys, nag-canvas ako niyan. Dati umabot siya ng 100,000, 106,000. Ang nakita ko na nagtitinda niyan ay of all the store, of all the places, nakita ko na nagtinda niyan is yung CDRT. May tinda silang 3D printer before. And it cost 108,000 pesos yung 3D printer. Pero ngayon, sobrang mura na ng mga 3D printer. Pwede ka makabili for as little as below 10,000 pesos. Mga nasa mga 8,000, meron ka ng sarili mong 3D printer. And it has a lot of practical usage in the field, in the context of education, especially in engineering, STEM, and in PNP also. So here is another video for the 3D printer.
3D printing has been around for almost 30 years. It has 3D printing has been around for almost 30 years. It has amazing capabilities. Almost anything you can imagine, you can print. 3D printing allows you to turn your ideas into reality. Whether you're printing architectural pieces for a class, engineering pieces for prototyping, or even final products for small run manufacturing. The most incredible thing about 3D printing is it's going to change the way that we think about the world. It changes what you can do every day in your life.
One of the most exciting things about 3D printing technology is its versatility. We've seen it used for rapid prototyping in professional situations, but what's really exciting is the availability of 3D printing to schools, which is brand new because the technology has come down in price and the machines have gotten a lot smaller. So now we can introduce kids to this very important skill early on and have their thought process be, I'm not relegated to what's available right now, I can print something new. There's a lot of examples that we're seeing in feedback from schools that express such great creativity from the students once they get the hands on their technology. There's a pretty small learning curve when you're introducing 3D printing to education. It's just learning some very simple software, and the machines themselves are pretty self-explanatory once you have a little bit of background.
So there are a ton of applications within education for 3D printing. You've got math, geometry, we work with architecture, schools, we work with universities that are trying to prototype for mechanical engineering, but also in K through 12, you have students that are just trying to learn about, a particular area of interest. Take, for example, historical artifacts. The ability to recreate those artifacts and just hold them in your hands can be so compelling and bring the student to the thing that they're learning. It creates this engagement, I think, that is really hard to replicate. You have the ability to basically take something, take an idea, take a design that they have made, potentially, and they've creatively come up with themselves, and actually see it become a reality. And that's really the power of 3D printing.
At MatterHackers, we create 3D software solutions for 3D printing. Our software is much easier to use, it's dramatically intuitive, and it also has all of the advanced and robust features that an experienced expert user needs.
We actually work with a lot of hardware manufacturers, the people that actually make these 3D printers, to make their 3D printers as easy to use as possible.
One of the goals of our software, which is Matter Control, is to allow children to use it. So in education, when we're dealing with elementary schools or junior high schools, these kids still find it intuitive and clear and understand how to get right into the software and start 3D printing.
3D printing is being used not only in the elementary K through 12 level, but also on the university level. We hear from art departments, architecture departments, science departments of how they're using 3D printing to really help their research.
So 3D printing has a really wide variety of industries that are involved in it. Besides education, you also have obviously engineering is a big component of it, and people use 3D printing to do rapid prototyping. That's one of its main applications, where people are taking their idea for a product or a design or a component and turning it into the reality of that, so they can see, even if it's not necessarily the final product, see how it's going to work in the end.
What excites me the most about 3D printing is the view of the future, where people are not thinking that they have to settle for the way things are in the world. They can actually imagine and create their own products that are going to help them specifically for what they need.
We've really just tapped into 3D printing, and just in the 3 years that we've been involved, we've seen the number of applications grow incredibly, and I can't wait to see what lies in store for the next 10, 20 years.
Our mission at Matter Hackers is to allow anyone to print anything. So at any time, if you have an idea, you can turn that idea into reality. We have definitely tapped into a game-changing technology. 3D printing will revolutionize manufacturing, and it will revolutionize personal creativity. 3D printing is a technology that is going to change the way that the world works. When we build buildings, we're going to 3D print them. When we make cell phones and microelectronics, we're going to 3D print them. When you need something fixed in your house, you will simply 3D print it on the spot.
Hello and welcome to 3D Printing in Education by Pathfinder Learning. In today's episode, we'll discuss how 3D printers are beginning to help educators in areas such as math, science, and civics begin to create their own classroom manipulatives. We'll begin by looking at Thingiverse, a website created for individuals to upload solid models to share freely with others. This page shows the many math manipulatives that have already been designed. Users can either download and print the items as they are, or can upload the files to their favorite solid modeling programs to make their own custom modifications. Recently, MakerBot, the host of Thingiverse, held a contest for educators and designers to create and upload their math manipulative designs. Many exciting designs were created during this month-long challenge. Designs ranged from a scale for performing math operations, a twisting math factoid, and a gear set which I recently printed. After downloading the files for free, I was able to print a finished product at a fraction of the price I would pay to retail distributors. This finished set will definitely come in useful for my upcoming lessons on ratios. Students can change out gears with 8, 16, 24, and 32 teeth for a variety of mathematical conversions. The next exciting site for manipulative STL files is africanfossils.org. The site was created by Louise Leakey of the Leakey family, who has been working for decades in the Rift Valley of Kenya to unearth a tremendous collection of human fossils. In an effort to share this work, they have begun scanning their collection. This site allows you to view the ancient skulls from virtually any angle, with the capability of zooming in for closer inspection of detail and structure. Visitors are then able to download the STL file for 3D printing. A tangible set of the evolutionary phases of the human skull could be a welcomed addition in evolutionary biology classrooms. The Smithsonian has also been busy in scanning many of their artifacts to share with the 3D printing community. Smithsonian X3D is a site that has a collection of many of the Institute's more well-known items. Visitors are able to take virtual tours of each item while having full control of the object in 3D space. This particular model is of the blue crab. Biology students could make observations of these high-definition scans while learning about its anatomy and habitat, which is described in the side panels. Within the Smithsonian collection, students can also have access to a high-definition scan of Abraham Lincoln's life mask casting taken in 1865. After close virtual inspection, history students can download the file and print a physical model which can be scaled to a variety of sizes to display in their classroom. The next step in this process would be for teachers and students to begin creating their own custom manipulatives. This site called Tinkercad is a free solid modeling web-based application that is very easy to use. Students are quick to learn the controls to modify the parameters from a large bank of primitive shapes. Height, width, and length of the objects can easily be adjusted. They can also be rotated, lifted, lowered, and joined with other shapes to create more complicated figures. Lessons can involve challenging students to create 3D shapes while staying within specified dimensions. When the designing is finished, the user can download the file called an STL that is used by the 3D printer. Allowing the students to run the software for the printer gives them the opportunity to learn about the process of slicing the model into two-dimensional shapes, which the printer then uses to create the hundreds of layers that go into making the objects. Students are often very interested in observing the paths the printer makes as a result of the algorithms which go into making each layer. As the students actively watch the printing process, they are better able to understand the limitations of the printer. This then translates into better design decisions. Objects with severe overhangs may require creative dissection to allow the design to lay flat on the print bed. By adhering to design restrictions, students get a taste of the same constraints professional engineers face. Students get definite feedback when they are able to physically hold and inspect the figures they created using computer software. Here is a list of the sites mentioned today. I have also included Umagine, which, like Thingiverse, is a free and open
So their class, those are the technologies that will disrupt or will be able to encounter soon in the field of education. So 3D printing, smart glasses, augmented reality, drones, digital badges, those are the things that we will be able to use soon. Okay, kasi nga, if we keep on doing the traditional way, yes, of course, will be mali-left out tayo. Kasi kapag yung pinag-usapan natin is just like before, di ba, class, yung demo ko nga, kung prof nyo, naging prof nyo ba si Ma'am Soto? Si Ma'am Michelle Soto? Naging prof nyo na ba siya? Okay. So si Ma'am Soto yung prof ko nun sa educational technology. So we have a teaching demo. And yung technology na nabigay sa akin. So dati yung mga technology para pinag-uusapan namin is pamphlet, then OHP, overhead projector. Yung napunta sa akin is overhead projector. So OHP class, di ba? Imagine OHP. Ngayon, obsolete na yung OHP. Wala nang nakakaalam kung ano yun. O siguro kung mga isa, dalawa na lang sa inyo nakakarinig na. Pero yung overhead projector, yun yung dinemo ko nun. Nag-print ako ng acetate, 10 pesos per page. Yung acetate, yung black and white. Pero sa simbahan class, yung parang manual na projector. Yung mga slides na i-flash mo sa harap is idadaan mo through acetate plastic. Next page. So 10 pesos per page yung bayad sa print. And then ngayon, obsolete na yun. Obsolete. Wala nang nakakalam kung ano yun. And of course, kung yun pa rin yung pinag-uusapan natin ngayon, is wala nang ano. It's like, it's really obsolete what we're talking about. So that in advance na natin yung pinag-uusapan natin. So I will talk about the digital badges, AR, 3D printing, drones, and virtual reality. Okay, so those are the technology that will disrupt. So do you have any question, class? None? Let's continue the discussion, and I'll provide your activity next week then. Okay, and open your webcam if you don't have any more questions, so we can take a class picture and continue our discussion next week. Okay, so webcam please. Then choose a virtual background, video filter, choose the favorite filter, the Peaky Blinders filter. Okay, alam niyo ba kung paano i-access to? Of course you do. There's a 3 dots on the upper right corner of your screen. Then choose virtual background. Ulit, diba? Then video filter, scroll down. Be able to see the painter's hat. Okay. Yung mga naka-mobile naman, alam ko walang ganitong feature sa mga naka-mobile. Pag ano na lang kayo. Confetti effect, yung tada. Ayan. Okay? So, open your webcam. Pakita naman kayo, Hana. Ayan, makasalubong ko kayo sa PUP. Hindi ko kayo mamukhaan. Rachel, Jubilee, John Mark, Fair Grace. Wala ba kayong mga webcam? Pakita nyo naman mga mukha nyo. Alright. So yung mga walang, yung mga naka-mobile, magtada na kayo. 1, 2, 3, smile! Okay. So that will do. And see you guys. See you when I see you. Goodbye. Take care.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po, sir.
Sige po, sir.
Sir.